I'm going to show you a little bit of the Python style that I would like to emphasize in this class. First of all, the way to comment code is you have three different options. Well, really just two. One is you can put a number sign, something that's called a hash mark, and whatever follows it, either if it's on the beginning of a line, that's just a comment for you or other people to read your code and explain things. The compiler, or sorry, the interpreter doesn't look at that. You can also put a pound sign and follow something at the end of a line of code to make some comments. By and large, Python code is normally readable, so you don't really need to overdo it on comments. Here, there might be something a little tricky, like this little bit. What does that mean? And so in that case, I do put a little comment down there that formats the numbers. The two decimal places, it uses 12 spaces. The other way to make a comment besides a number sign is to put triple quotes. And whatever comes in between is a comment. And you notice this time, your comment can span many lines. Now, technically, this is not a comment. This is just a string. But it can also have carriage returns or returns so that you can continue on new lines. And I am going to insist that the only place where I'm going to require you to have comments is every time you define a function. I'm going to ask that you explain what the function is and talk about the parameters of the function. And you explain what this is and specifically how you're going to use this. Are you going to enter this as a decimal, a percent interest rate as a decimal or as a percent? So this explains that. And what your function returns. And so this I'm going to require for you, and you'll get points taken off if you don't do that. So other things about the Python style is that variable names are written if you have multiple words written with an underscore in between. Don't use something like camel caps, which would have your letters go up and down. That's not Pythonic, and I just don't want to see it. Another thing is that Python expects you to have spaces to make things readable. Like don't jam this together. I mean, it'll work, but that's not very Pythonic, and everyone will notice right away that it doesn't feel like a Python. Somebody knows Python very well if they do things like that. So put spaces before and after things like equal signs. Don't put a space right after parentheses because that's just overkill. And put like I spaced out this equation too. Put spaces between operators. And the one exception you notice here is that you don't have to, you can put spaces here, but you can show that the exponentiation, you kind of show the order of operations that by not putting a space, you're showing that this exponentiation goes before the multiplication. Python takes care of that, so I don't need to put extra parentheses, but it's nice to give the user a little clue about that.